This will be a walkthrough and review of Hyatt Place Richmond West Innsbrook. Uh, kind of doing this a little differently than I normally do. Stayed here over the weekend visiting a friend and really didn't get back to the room until very, very late. So it's kind of going to be a review and wrap up all in one go. So over here to the left of the door, we have our non-motion sensing thermostat, which I greatly appreciate. That controls the HVAC unit by the bed. And one of the things I like, you can have it so that the fan stays on all the time. So if you need that white noise, there it is. You have your light switch, which weirdly only controls this light, not the one over there. That's a manual light. But looking over in this corner, we've got a light, we've got a little staging area, as well as some drawers. So you can stash some stuff in here if you want. Soft close, very nice. Coming over here, we have the Hyatt L-shaped lounge area. This does pull out to a sofa bed. Here we have standard Hyatt art, because I've been staying in a lot of these lately. Extra lighting over here, wall separator from the couch area to the sleeping area. There is carpet throughout. Got a TV, we'll talk about that in a moment, but we're gonna come over here, which is technically to the right of the door. Here we have our coffee station. So we've got our coffee maker, digital tipping now, coffees and teas, ice bucket. We have our accoutrement for such. And then one of the things I like, it actually has a little mini fridge. There's no microwave in here, but there is a mini fridge to utilize. There is a trash can right there. One of the things I don't particularly care for in this room, and I haven't experienced this in a while or at all in a Hyatt, I want to say, is kind of an adjoining door to the next room. Over here, we've got a fairly full-size mirror. Hi, there I am. Over here, we've got our little workstation. It's a decent size, separate light. Got a rolling chair with faux leather. It did just end up becoming my catch-all for our coats and stuff. And there's kind of like my normal filming gear when I'm not just using my cell phone very quickly. Over here, we're gonna come over this way. We do have a decently sized swivel TV. So if you're sitting on the couch, you can move it this way. If you're utilizing the bed area, there you go. You can just move it that way. That's generally where we left it. So not too bad. Coming over this way, we have our king size bed. Yep, we'll back this up. Hyatt, my opinion, has the Goldilocks, not too soft, not too hard. Good pillowage, decent amount. Nice large headboard, and then you've got your two lights to either side. They're decently bright and within stretching distance, we'll call it. Here, there's an alarm clock that I unplugged because I want a completely dark room. You have access to two power ports as well as a USB-A and USB-C charging cable. And right down here, there's a little shelf area. You can keep your TV remote, or you have your reading materials if you so wish. Coming over to the other side of the king size bed, this is a secondary shelf area and lighting. Down here we have our HVAC unit. It's kind of nice. And this particular room, which I forgot to mention before, is 503. I'll double check or insert here. This is the view. This is technically the front of the hotel. So there you go. You got like a parking garage and some industrial stuff over there. You're kind of nestled in a bunch of other hotels, so tricky to find parking. Parking at this particular Hyatt is charged, at least as of filming. They said it was $5 per night. However, if you're a Hyatt member, that should be waived. But if we come over to the bathing area, you have a large mirror, which is lighted, which is kind of nice. Decent sized sink area. There's not a lot of like towel hooks, and I've kind of noticed that they're missing. So you drape it where you can find it. There is some towel hook area down here, but that's not really going to be for your bigger towels. Underneath the sink area, you do have a little rubber mat for the shower if you need it, and then your hair dryer right there. There's another garbage can over here, and over here they don't actually have a closet. They have like this cutout, and you have your luggage stay. I moved the luggage stay in front of the adjoining door just as a safety precaution. You do have your ironing board as well as iron, clothes hangers, and then up there we have extra linens and pillows should you want. Coming over this way, we'll come to the bathroom. So elongated bowl, not soft close lid, so yes and no for me. The door for this particular one does come really close to the toilet bowl, so just be aware of that. Here we have our shower enclosure, large glass doors, and then here is your hardware should you be interested in that. Water pressure and water temperature are both good, don't really take all that much to get going. And then your tilage here is actual tilage, so that's nice. There is a hook on the back of the door here, so you can hang something up. This was a little interesting in that when you closed this door, there's actually like a lot of airflow through here because of that exhaust fan, that exhaust, we'll call it there. So you'll get a nice cool breeze when you're in the bathroom. Just be aware of that. I did forget to point out over here, because I'm trying to speed run this, it's not terribly close to wrap your knuckles on. It is higher, so you really don't, but you kind of leave a lot of water back there. As for the placement of this particular room, you're decently far enough away from the elevator that you're not going to get any noise. There is a little light bleed under the door, but that's kind of common. But you have this here, you're not really going to see it. The room itself is far enough away from the elevator, and you do hear a little sound in between the door and yourself. Side to side, when we were here, kind of nobody was really around us. It's a fairly large hotel. We're located on the 5th floor of 6, so you've got lots of spacing to say, so wasn't too bad for us. Overall, if you're looking for a hotel that is within driving distance of Richmond proper, this would be a good stopover that's far enough away from the center of the city to kind of be a little quieter, a little slower, and a good staging ground. If you're in the Richmond area and looking for a hotel to stay at, I can recommend checking out the Hyatt Richmond, as it was a enjoyable stay for myself and my wife since we were both here instead of just me solo traveling for work. I have been Wanderer 001. Happy wandering.